So let's unpack the company's strategy right now, because it seems like your growth is more acquisitive than organic at this stage. Well, at least that's the sense that the market's getting right now.
Hi, Alishia. No, that's not quite correct. I think that, we've on record as saying is that deliberately our strategy be to grow this business based on numerical growth, which is opening up of restaurants of our existing brands. Organic is to make sure that our existing brands continue to grow well in terms of like on like. And then obviously, as you've seen today, by acquisitive. So, it's a combination of all three strategies at the same time.
Speaking from Cape Town, it seems to me that every time I go out for a cup of coffee or a deli-style sandwich these days in convivial surroundings, I'm going to be buying something from your company. Is that your strategy to sort of dominate the market? And on the back of that, of course, it's not just that you want to dominate; it's because the four major growth sectors that you identify are in South Africa are breakfast, coffee, snacking, and chicken. It seems to me that we're becoming almost European in our tastes.
Yeah, Lindsay, I think you're quite right in terms of what our business model really will want to mirror over time is that we want to provide to the South African consumer out of the Famous Brands business or Famous Brands stable a total solution. So, whether it is a cup of coffee that you're after, whether it is a burger you're after, or whether it's a pizza you're after, is that Famous Brands has a solution for the consumer. And we compete within categories, though, but each of those categories, whether they be pizza, burgers, seafood, coffee, they're all highly competitive. So we just want to make sure that in all those categories, with regard to food service solution, is that we have an option for the consumer.
What's your evaluation of the competitive landscape you're operating within right now, Kevin?
Yeah, it's very fierce. I think that the food service industry and quick service restaurants, casual dining is a fiercely competitive environment. I think that you can see that by the type of media that you see in print and also in electronic. A lot of focus on price, a lot of focus on value. So it certainly is a highly competitive environment, yes, very much so.
Kevin, Lindsay again, I was driving past my local sort of corner shop, which is not really on a corner, but yeah, you know what I mean. It sells juice and it sells Coca-Cola and airtime, that sort of thing. And outside there were a lot of hay bales, straw bales, and there was a big sign saying organic coffee, and there were a couple of hippie-looking type people selling what I'm sure is absolutely lovely coffee. And this seems to be embellishing the trend that you've spoken about. What worries me now is that you've probably snapped up the last chain that's worth snapping up. Anything else is too small for you to consider. Is there any more acquisitions that you can possibly be targeting?
There's still a number of branded coffee restaurants out there in the franchising model. So certainly there are others, not to say that we would want to be looking at them, but I think that what you do see in the South African context is in terms of growth of coffee, South Africans are more and more becoming a coffee or cafe society, and so the consumption per capita for coffee is certainly on the up, and I think if you compare it to global standards, certainly nowhere near. So still a lot of upside in terms of consumption per capita for coffee across the South African landscape. And of course, what that does mirror is the certainly growing incidence of breakfast. I mean, breakfast in South Africa is certainly becoming almost more the main meal in many people's lives. So if you look at those two things together, there's still strong upside potential for a number of players that compete within that category.